So my ex-situationship reached out to me last night for the first time since December, telling me that he thinks about me a lot and he misses cuddling with me and watching movies. To which I responded saying, I miss that too, but it sounds like you and I both want different things and I cannot allow that to happen unless we're on the same page. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he just responded to that message saying, I've never been opposed to that, but right now it would just be dope to have your company and some other things that I don't feel comfortable saying on here. And he said, if you're uncomfortable with that, I get it. On the one hand, I am super grateful that he's being honest with me, but I'd be lying if I said there's not another part of me that is dying on the inside.
Have you guys ever noticed how it's always a problem for a lot of women when men walk away from relationships? Even if the guy is completely honest, even if the man says no, somehow it's like this difficult thing to understand. A lot more guys these days are not interested in relationships, whether that be because they've checked out entirely or because they're one of the few amount that actually have a whole bunch of options. But it's always interesting to me, guys, how society doesn't seem to give a crap about men until it's too late, until dudes start checking out of relationships, until dudes aren't getting married anymore, until dudes aren't giving women children and instead are going overseas. Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, we are going to be kicking it off with this woman right here who is a little bit upset that her situationship basically doesn't want anything serious with her. Now, guys, this is a sentiment that is actually echoed by a lot of modern women. Like, you would be hard-pressed in Western society finding a woman that hasn't gone through this situation, you know, dudes just not interested in a relationship with her. So we're going to be going through this, breaking this down, and we're going to be talking about why dudes do not actually want relationships and why a lot of girls are shocked by this. So let's jump into the clip. Guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
So my ex-situationship reached out to me last night for the first time since December.
Okay, so let's pause it right there. I'm going to break it down piece by piece. If a woman says that she has had situationships in the past, guys, that is a huge red flag. It tells you that she chooses. Guys, this is a choice that the woman is making, by the way. This is not on men. This is her choice that she has dated dudes without commitment. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine. But what you do as a woman when you do this is you oftentimes throw away any chance that you have of guys who respect themselves committing to you after the fact. Because I guarantee you, this isn't the first situationship that she's had.
Telling me that he thinks about me a lot and he misses cuddling with me and watching movies. To which I responded saying, I miss that too, but it sounds like you and I both want different things and I cannot allow that to happen unless we're on the same page. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, so let's just cut the crap here. Basically, she wants commitment, he doesn't. Okay? And it's always really weird to me, guys, how like modern day society will talk about, you know, consent and you know, listening to what the other person says. But it seems to fall short when the man says no. You know, it's like he said no, oh, I'm super upset about it, time to rant on TikTok. Can you guys imagine if a dude jumped on TikTok and he was like, you know, guys, I'm just super upset because she didn't want to, you know, have bedroom fun with me. It's like that guy would get absolutely clowned in the comments. If you guys reverse these situations a lot of the time and you put the man saying the same crap, like the dude would get bagged on in the comments. Like he would just get absolutely roasted for some of this stuff.
And he just responded to that message saying, I've never been opposed to that, but right now it would just be dope to have your company and some other things that I don't feel comfortable saying on here. And he said, if you're uncomfortable with that, I get it. On the one,
so look at that. The man is respecting the woman's boundaries, and yet it's still upsetting. You know, and guys, like, let's not pretend. The reason why I don't have sympathy for this woman is because she should have seen it from the beginning. Like, again, this is, I say this in every damn video, guys, like when we're watching these things to laugh at, right? It's like, if the father figure was in the picture, Now, I don't know this woman's story, okay? I don't know if her father's not here for any other reason, or maybe he is there, but he just didn't have any input on this. The father figure would be able to tell you instantly whether or not the dude's just wanting to have fun with you or wanting to have something serious. This is why back in the day, guys, you know, a father's opinion in the household was weighed a lot more heavily, because this crap is not unforeseeable. You know, it's not like, oh damn, he just didn't want a relationship one day. No, chances are he didn't want a relationship from the start, but you wanted to live in your fairyland of delusion and sit there and go, well, maybe one day the man will commit to me. You know, maybe one day, and they just chase that dream for like 9 months, and then, you know, once they run out of collective 9-month periods, all of a sudden it's time to find a good man, you know?
On one hand, I am super grateful that he's being honest with me, but I'd be lying if I said there's not another part of me that is dying on the inside. And this is where all of the self-work that I've been doing for the past year and a half now really comes into play.
Yeah, and so this is why you don't give yourself to dudes who don't commit to you. This is why this is why, guys, back in the day, you know, it used to be marriage up front. Okay, and then the bedroom time and all that would come afterwards, not the other way around. Not like 9 months. I don't even know how long this woman's situation was, but I'm gonna guess it was quite long. Okay, a lot of these like relationships, quote unquote, that these women have, like they chase the bad boy for months and months at a time.
Because the little girl inside of me is crying right now because she doesn't feel chosen, she doesn't feel wanted. She doesn't feel like anyone ever wants to commit to her. But the healed me is choosing not to believe any of that, because I know that there is someone out there that wants me, that's going to choose me, that is going to want to commit to me. And
let's pause it right there. Guys, when she says this, okay, this is something that I truthfully, like, I'll be really honest, guys, I didn't understand this when I was younger at all, you know? Is like, when women say crap like this, I used to think, wow, you know, they must really have nobody, you know, right? But the thing is, what she's really talking about is she's basically just saying that dudes she's attracted to don't want her. That's all this is code for. Whenever you hear like blanket statements about men, you know, which I'm not opposed to blanket statements about genders, guys. Like, I make generalizations all the time on this channel, right? So I can't really, you know, I can't really argue on that. But here's the thing. If you want to make a statement about men, when women do it, oftentimes what they're doing is they're actually just taking the subset of men that they're attracted to and they're applying it to all men, you know? So they're saying, you know, oh, all men are liars and manipulators, which, you know, there are a lot of dudes who lie and manipulate, I'm sure, okay? Or who don't want relationships or whatever. But like, what they're doing is they're taking a small subset of men and applying that to every single man. You know, and I will say though, you know, the lack of men wanting relationships is certainly something that's growing. It really is. Like, over the last few years, especially, a lot of dudes are just straight up checking out. Even the men who can get women, so even the dude who, for example, this girl is talking about here, he's checked out, basically. Like, he doesn't want anything serious. He doesn't want anything serious with her. He's not looking for a relationship, and a lot of guys are choosing to go that way, whether that be, you know, not date at all, or date but don't take any of them seriously. And then the girls come crying and they're like, oh, it's a problem, oh, it sucks, dating is so difficult, men don't want to commit to us. But they never actually, guys, here's the amazing thing that gets me, okay, is like, you'll have a whole bunch of people in society complaining that men check out of like relationships or whatever, but they don't actually incentivize men to participate in society. They don't incentivize men to have relationships. Like, what's waiting for a dude when he has a long-term relationship? Common law divorce where his crap gets taken? What's waiting for him participating in society? You know, a job that pays him crap all. He can't even pay off a house in 30 years. He has no family to live in said house. You know, he has to commute in some like overpopulated city where crime is just ridiculously high. Like, there's really, guys, I don't mean to be a bit of a doomer about this, right? But just, you know, simple understanding would tell you there's not a lot of reason for men to go out here and to work for things that don't care about them. It really is that way. Let's keep going.
That is the vision that I will continue to hold. I'm also really grateful because now I know so clearly, like, I cannot see it any clearer now, that I can move on and just leave this guy in the past. So yeah, that was a really rough moment. I felt very hurt reading that because there was a part of me that really wanted him to say, like, yes, let's try this again. I want to explore a relationship with you. And it didn't happen.
So let's pause it again there, right? She's really hurt. She's really upset. Here's the thing, right? Is like, I think if this guy just removed the part where he, you know, obviously mentioned the physical intimacy, she probably would have went crawling back to him. He just made it a little bit too overt, so she can't just lie to herself and live in a fantasy land for another, you know, 9 months. But I'll give this woman a little bit of credit. Okay, because she did go, oh, well, he's not giving me commitment, so I'm out of here. Now, whether or not she actually sticks to that is obviously a different story entirely, but had she done this from the beginning, she'd be in, like, with other men as well, I'm sure, she'd be in a lot better position. You know, like, if you actually had this approach of, like, okay, well, he didn't want to commit, then, you know, I'll find a guy who does before I give myself to them, that'd probably be a lot better strategy. Now, it's going to be harder and harder in the West, typically, because these girls are, chasing dudes who don't want them. But it's a lot better of a strategy because you'll come across, you know, you'll weed out the guys who are just there for fun, which, you know, there's more and more of them. But guys, let's continue into today's compilation of a lot of girls actually regretting hookup culture. So let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna pause this here. This one says, I am personally a victim of the casual hookup where he kisses my forehead. Okay, I'm not reading this, cringe. So basically, notice how it's always like, I'm a victim, but what they don't tell you and that they should put on the end of it is, I'm a victim of my own decisions. I feel like that should always be put in brackets after these sentences.
Alright, here's some free game for you ladies out there. If you are actively engaging into hookup culture, that's fine, I'm not going to shame you, but I will have to say, you may be going through an identity crisis or a bad breakup, or you're just trying to find yourself and you don't know what you want. I can tell
Trying to find yourself. Man, this choice of language, like, it always makes me laugh. Like, trying to find yourself, explore yourself. I mean, you know, go out there, see the world, whatever, like, synonymous woo-woo stuff that sounds positive is basically just code for, yeah, let's go out and just have fun with a bunch of random guys. And notice how she said at the end, like, one of the stipulations there that she added was at the end of a relationship. Like, yeah, because that's just it makes women appear so good, right? When the first thing that they do when they get out of a relationship is jump around from guy to guy. That's something that I think, guys, let me know in the comments what you think, right? But if you're dating a girl and you know that if the relationship just ends, like, she would just be jumping from dude to dude, it's kind of off-putting, right? Like, why would you want to date a girl when the first thing that she does is, like, if your relationship ends, she'll just go from guy to guy? It's like, I think it just paints women in a very bad light, because any subsequent man who's considering you for a relationship next is probably just going to look at you like you're not worth the relationship, you know? Like, if you treat relationships like that, don't be surprised when subsequent men don't want to enter into them with you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
you the best thing isn't to hook up with somebody just because you need to cope with your feelings and your trauma. Because while you don't know what the you want, this person kind of makes you feel good. By the time you know what you want, it's most likely going to be whoever it is you're hooking up with. They've already made up their mind that you are never going to be the one. So while you're calling this person friend zoning them, friends of benefit, buddy, whatever it is that y'all are telling yourself to justify your actions, they've already made up their mind that they will never be in a serious relationship with you, because you don't know your course of life, you don't value yourself, and the thing with time is that it waits for nobody. Women generally don't know what the hell they want. Men know what they usually want. They don't know how to get it. We know how to get it, but we don't know how to keep it. So if I didn't say it before, I'm a coach, relationship, and I teach people how to get what they want, how to keep what they want, because it's beyond looks, beyond emotions, beyond status, beyond height, beyond money, honestly. So don't think for 1 minute that you think you know what you're doing, because you don't know what you're doing. because women are taught on how to be loved, but no one's teaching us on how to love. Men know who they want to love, they just don't know how to love. Let me know your thoughts.
Okay, so she kind of went off track in the second half of this, and you guys know, if you've watched this channel at all, I'm not really a fan of you know, relationship coaches, dating, like women, specifically women dating coaches that are on TikTok, right? But the first half of that was okay. You know, don't engage in hookup culture, don't use it to cope with your negative emotions and stuff like that. I can agree with this woman on those points, but notice how it's always like, you hear the sentence in there, particularly the thing about time, is like girls only tend to realize or care about this stuff when it starts to affect them. You know, when they start to run out of time, when they start to hit 30 years of age, when they start to get to the point where they're like, oh crap, if I leave this any longer, if I continue my shenanigans, I'm not going to be able to have a kid. And then even when it gets to that point, it doesn't come from a point of like empathy for men or like realizing what they've done wrong. It's like, it's a self-preservation thing. It has nothing to do with like compassion, or like a lot of these girls will say that they've done their healing, for example. It doesn't come out of like a positive place. Truthfully, guys, it just comes out of like an incredibly narcissistic place, a position of understanding that she's just gonna be screwing herself if she continues down that path. But let's continue. So this is the next woman. We're gonna skip past this because we already covered her. That was absolutely hilarious. Let's jump into the next one.
So we all know by
Okay, so this one says, my ex-situationship reached out to me after 2 months of no contact. And again, guys, I say this, like I've said this in the past 10 episodes. I don't understand people who put their personal life on TikTok. I don't know about you guys. I'm not interested in doing it. I don't understand when people are interested in doing it. I think that it's, number one, it's dangerous. Number two, it makes you look like a clown. And number three, it just like, it does damage to any subsequent relationships that you have, because it makes people feel as though they can't trust you, because they can't. Let's have a look at this.
By now that my ex-situationship reached out to me after 2 months of no contact. And we also already know that I responded. And I know a lot of people say that I should have blocked him or not responded, but me being the curious gal that I am, I had to engage. And I have to share the second half of the conversation that went down that I did not share in my previous video. So the first text is him saying that he's never been opposed to taking the relationship further, and the part that I said is me not being okay with it. So this right here is him trying to save himself and telling me that, oh, he's not looking for just anyone. He thinks about me for a reason. So then I responded saying, what reason is that exactly? Because again, I am someone that likes to challenge people and understand why they do the things they do.
That's a red flag sentence and a half. I'm someone who likes to challenge people. Isn't that like, guys, let me know in the comments, is that a quote that you like to hear from a woman you're dating? If you're a dude who's out there dating, or even if you're not, okay, hypothetically, is that something that you want to hear? I like challenging people. Doesn't that sound fantastic? You know, I used this analogy before, okay, or just example. It's like, if you're a dude and you're out there working, you're, you know, working to provide for your family, you come home, what man wants to get challenged when they return home? Like, it's essentially just like returning home to a second boss. So like, girls don't understand when they say crap like this. It's like, these are the reasons why. This is another reason, for example, why the man might not want to commit to you. Because dudes aren't interested in having like a challenging boss babe, queen, alpha woman, whatever the hell term they use to describe themselves these days. It's not appealing to men. And the mistake that this guy made, by the way, guys, I'm going to pull it back a couple seconds here. The mistake that men always, if you're a dude and you're doing this crap, less is more. You don't need to send the woman paragraphs like ever. Like, because the thing is, they understand what happens when you as a man, this is crazy. If you as a guy send paragraphs to a woman, all that it communicates is that you're emotionally invested. So she feels like she's won, and now she'll make like TikTok videos on you, or, you know, you'll lose whatever situation or what you wanted to try and get out of it. Right? So like, guys don't win by sending longer messages. I just realized I cut off half my background. Let me see if I can fix it here. Oh, would you look at that magic? I'm a professional. All right, let's jump back into the video.
reason. So then I responded saying, what reason is that exactly? Because again, I am someone that likes to challenge people and understand why they do the things they do. Shockingly, he did not respond. So the next day, I double texted him, which I know you shouldn't do, but
Of course. So not only did we respond to him, which clearly was a mistake, right? But again, guys, like this is why I don't have empathy for these women. You know the guy is just trying to get some fun out of you, some fun time. So what do? You respond, even though he didn't speak to you for 2 months, and then once he stops messaging you, you double text him. Again, like when you do crap like this, it throws away all of your ability to complain about the situation, in my opinion.
But again, I am over this man. I have no intention of getting back with him ever again.
Oh yeah, so you're over him, but you respond to his text and you double message him. Makes sense.
So I said, typical, you can't even answer a simple question. Please delete my number and do not contact me ever again.
And that right there is probably why he didn't want to be with you in the first place. Notice the facetiousness, guys, and the fact that she always has to have the last laugh and be challenging. It's no wonder why the men don't want to commit to you. You know, guys, this is the equivalent of me going out here, okay, and again, like, just being a complete and utter loser, having no friends, not hitting the gym, and then communicating that through text message to women, and then asking them why they don't want to commit to me, and then saying, please delete my number, and they've been using me for money the whole time. It's like, these people have it so damn backwards, and they never actually consider what men want or what men care about. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. If you guys found these TikToks particularly funny, let us know below. And as always, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.